So my old bike, which I keep next to the sea, so it gets exposed to a lot of salty air, but it's at least 25 years old, and I've scarcely touched it really. I used to have a problem with the chains breaking when I first bought it. I'm not really sure what that was, but it's settled down after a while. And say I've done nothing else to it at all really. But I've just replaced the chain recently and found that it actually started jumping on the rear sprockets, the chain block on the back. So the chain was very worn. It was well over 1% stretched. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to change this perhaps as well. I mean, it doesn't actually look to me that worn, but I'm no expert. But it's a 9-speed. It turns out I've completely forgotten about, but it's got this 7-speed block, and then 2 extra sprockets tacked on the end. So it's sort of like a cross between a cassette and a block. Anyway, these look distinctly worn, and that one especially, for instance, it's very hooked teeth. And I don't know whether these are separate because they need to be replaced more often, or whether it's just the way it's convenient for Shimano to make it, because it is a Shimano gear set and hub. So yeah, I mean this lot just fits onto this splined freewheel, and there's a retaining ring which has got the Shimano number on it. It says 49 Newton meters. Does it? No, 40 Newton meters to tighten it up, and yeah, it's got a number on there. CSHG70-8 maybe. Anyway, I'll see what I can look up. The actual bearings are just the conventional cup and cone, which I was not too surprised to find, but they're absolutely fine. By the looks of it, those cones look fine. All the bearings are in good condition. No sign of any corrosion or pitting or anything. So I think I'll just reassemble the spindle and the bearings. It's got a rubber seals on either end, which aren't particularly effective, but on the other hand, they seem to have done the trick for the last 25 years, so can't really complain about that. So yeah, I think I'll certainly replace these two, and probably the whole block. And meanwhile, and the wheel seems fine. The braking surface, because it's got rim brakes, V brakes, and again they're not too bad. They're slightly worn. I don't think it's about to collapse, which is the worry, of course. And it's got the tubeless tyre on, which is fantastic. It makes life so much easier. Obviously, the ride is a bit harder, but yeah, it's worked very well for me. So I'll give this a clean. I've already cleaned out the hub, reassembled the spindle and the bearings, adjust up the play on that, and look to maybe get some advice on this as to whether it needs replacing, whether it's available to replace. Same with these 2 rings on the end, and hopefully get at least this back wheel up to spec again. Then I maybe have to think about the chain wheels on the bottom bracket and the derailleur mechanisms, which I may well clean up properly and have a thorough go through. But for now, I'll just get this rear wheel sorted out. So this has arrived. It's not actually the same number as the old one, but I think it's the same specification. 11 is the 11 tooth is the smallest one, and 32 the bigger. And what do you reckon? That looks the same to me. That's definitely the same. So yeah, I think that'll do. Same splines on the centre, and these 2 separate sprockets on the outside, and indeed a new inner, so that's good. Yeah, right, should be good to go. I did look this up actually, and I actually bought the bike in 2003, so quite a while ago, and this wheel was replaced in 2009. So again, it's knocking on a bit, but so I think it's okay. It'll last another few years. So yeah, comparing these sprockets, that's the original or the old one, and this is a brand new one, and there's actually not that much difference. I mean, this is distinctly worn, but not so much. It's the second one, again, original versus new, and yeah, I mean, it is worn. Comparing these, again, there's not that much wear. It's not terrible, but good to have a new one anyway, I think. One other thing, this is the original retaining nut for the whole block, and this one, the original, has a very thin spring steel washer, whereas this new one doesn't. So they've obviously eliminated that part for some reason. Probably just cost, I would guess, but yeah, doesn't have it certainly. So this main block has got a wider spline down one side, so it only fits on one way onto this freewheel. There we go. And again, these have got a particular orientation, which should be about there. Yep. And again, the broad slot. Where's that? Here, I think. Yeah. So I guess that just keeps all these teeth in the right alignment so that it will change gear properly. Put a bit of Loctite on the thread just to seal it. Loctite 248 this is. Don't think it needs it to hold it on, but I just seal the threads against corrosion. Okay, special tool. Shouldn't need the chain wrench for this because the freewheel's going the right way. 40 Newton meters. If I can remember how this works. Good. So now I just put the spindle back in and the ball bearings. So there's 18 ball bearings, so 9 in each side, an odd number as usual. I think that's to stop harmonics building up, but not 100% sure. Anyway, I'll use some molybdenum grease, because I always use molybdenum grease. So just stick the balls in with this and reassemble the spindle. Okay, so I'm going to lock up this side. And then it pulls in, so I can no longer get onto the flats on the cone. But then I can make the adjustments on the other side. So let's just get this one tight for a start. Okay, so that side's solid. So I can push this back in now and take up the slack on this side. Okay, so that's snugged up on the ball. wheels. The other thing I'm a bit worried about is there's too much sticking out this side. I think I'll adjust that across a bit, slacken this off again, and just wind it in a bit to get some more of the threaded part out this side. Okay, that's about right. So the small one first, and the bigger one which holds the seal in place, and then the lock nut for the cone. Yeah, that's fine. So then this can go back on, and it's designed to fit into that gap and onto this washer by the looks of it. That's quite neat. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. There's no play, and it's not too tight. Good. So I think so finally, just the quick release to go back in. The spring, in this case, the small end goes on the inside. Right. Good to go. Put that back on the bike, see how it performs, whether it cures the jumping problem. If not, I'll have to investigate further, see about the derailleur mechanism and maybe the front chain wheels as well. Anyway, thanks for watching.